Film. It is an escape. It's the closest thing to living a reality that is not your own, or experiencing emotions from interactions you aren't having. But where did it start, and how did we get here? "1911 was the year that the studios started opening up. It was a new opportunity for the European Jewish immigrants that were seeking opportunity, and for creatives that came to Hollywood with a dream. Among this group were some of the biggest names that had yet to enter the world of cinema. A group of men who would later be known as Harry Warner of Warner Brothers, Adolph Zukor of Paramount, Carl Laemmle of Universal, Louis B. Mayer of MGM, and William Fox of 20th Century Fox. The founding fathers of cinema. One name, however, that has seemed to go unwritten is that of French-born Alice Guy Blanchet. This world that they had entered was full of hope and prosperity. It was a place for the otherwise ostracized to flourish, and it was a world that accepted Alice as the first female film director and the founder of Solax Studios. Movies of the time told stories of the people who were creating them, bringing with them the narratives of hardships, strength, and resilience that helped brand the idea of the American dream. In 1927, sound was introduced to film. With sound came the need for large investments. Corporations started funding these films, and in response, needed a revenue. With money comes politics, and in favour, the once liberating medium turned into a corporation. The founding fathers being brought out of the companies they sacrificed to create, and Alice's involvement with history being erased in an attempt to represent the good old-fashioned American dream that they helped to create.
She just left the hotel.
This showing the clear importance of representation and perspective.
You know when you're a bit like...
As perception is not whimsical, but fatal.
Thinking that life has passed them by. Don't give up until you kill the silver cup and ride that highway.
Hello. Hello, Rocky. Hello.
Bye.
Okay, so, how would you describe your relationship with film? Has it significantly impacted your life, and if so, in what way?
I love the black and white films. I can remember who I saw them with, the memories. I remember going to see South Pacific with my mother and father. My husband, boyfriend at the time, asked me to go and see South Pacific. I thought, great. And I get in the car, and my mum and dad get in the car as well. Why am I taking my mum and dad on a date with my boyfriend? So all four of us went. So that film will always be a memory to me that I saw that with my parents in the Odeon in Surrey.
Had a huge impact on my life because I'm a filmmaker. I started off in documentary for 20 years and then now wanting to be a scripted producer. I wanted to do that ever since I was very young. I had things to say, so I wanted to portray messages. And actually one of the biggest things that I love about film is creating emotion in people.
Massive impact on my life, my God. My relationship with film is very healthy. I've always loved films. I grew up when you had 3 channels and we got a VHS recorder, and it was when a film came on, you'd record it, you'd watch the hell out of it. I was influenced by what was on TV at the time. So movies like Great Escape, Jaws, that sort of stuff. I always wanted to be an actor. I basically followed more traditional paths, joined the military and realised it's not what I want to do. What do I want to do? I've always wanted to be in film. So 27 years an actor. So I'd say nothing has influenced my life more than film.
I would say it's had no impact on me. It's more and to watch if I'm with friends or if I'm bored.
So it's more of like a way of interacting with your friends.
Yes.
Do you feel that you've ever been really impacted emotionally by a film?
Being made sad from a dog's life or dog's journey.
Films had a pretty big impact on my life. I come from quite a creative family. Two of my older sisters are actors. I'm now at drama school. So it's kind of really influenced the entire direction I've decided to take my life in, really.
Yeah, film has definitely had a big impact in my life. It's like a really good pastime. It sort of has helped me grow up and teaches you a lot about the world around you and helps you sort of confront things and learn about things. Film has definitely had a very big impact in my life. Seeing a main character or a big scene is like always ingrained in everyone's mind, and it's like a massive part of pop culture and modern culture. So yeah, film has definitely had a massive impact in my life. If films didn't affect me, I wouldn't want to make them. As I was making them, I was thinking about the ones that most affected me. I wanted to make something that affected other people watching it the same way that these films affected me when I first watched them,
Can you remember a specific film that profoundly changed the way you think or feel about the world? What is it, and what was the effect it had on you?
I guess Don't Take Things for Granted.
Are you thinking of the dog film again?
Oh yes, lots of films have changed my perceptions over the years and my attitudes. Sometimes it's documentaries because you've learned something interesting. Like there was a famous documentary called That Sugar Film, which was all about the impact of sugar. I watched it and then I stopped eating sugar in a certain way.
I watched Lady Bird, Greta Gerwig's film. Well, I went to Catholic school and then kind of went straight from there to Brit, which is like a very liberal art school. And looking back on the sort of Catholic upbringing, I was under the impression that, you were either completely for it or radically against it. And I think that film did a really good job at illustrating the complexity of it and the comfort of religion, while also pointing out the, I guess it's not so pretty qualities.
And do you think that film has the power to sort of change perceptions of reality and life and identities and social issues?
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I think that's why we make them, because storytelling holds a mirror to life and therefore mirrors life in a magnified way to understand certain issues. There is a theory about mirroring, that if somebody sees somebody smile on a camera, it makes them smile. Yeah. So I think that those images fed back to you do influence you.
Films can be used as propaganda. Yeah, all films make a subconscious impact. Thinking about Oppenheimer and how that was controversial and that was very political and people might agree or disagree with this or that, but because it's Cillian Murphy, that film has changed everyone's perception into thinking that the US was this or that or the other. When you watch an American film, you're just stuffing popcorn in your mouth. But when you watch an English film, you're sitting there waiting for the right moment that you can put a piece of popcorn in your mouth. American films are just really stimulating and really exciting. And Hollywood has found a way to turn film, which is an art, into mass entertainment.
Through my interviews, it became clear that the visual language and narratives both came together to create impact for a film. In Nina Menkez's documentary, Brainwashed, Sex, Camera and Power, the difference between male and female representation is made very apparent. The idea of object and the subject is brought into conversation, leading to the conclusion that the object does not lead to empathy and true depiction, but leads to objectification and lack of representation. This went hand in hand with the erasure of Alice Guy Blanchet when the title of director gained its power. The representation of the naked female body is more dangerous than no representation at all. This proving reflective of Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. La Haine is an example of a movie that shows the importance of perspective and point of view in relation to its message. It showed scenes of racial tension, social inequality and police brutality, and led to the political cabinet under Alain Juppé's term to watch the film in order to realise the current state of France at the time. He was quoted saying that it is a beautiful work of cinematic art that can make us more aware of certain realities. One director that has become increasingly regretful for the impact of his film is Steven Spielberg. Whether it be related to this film or not, the increase of shark-related fears has skyrocketed after his release of the movie Jaws in 1975, with many people claiming it stemmed from the movie. From the release of this movie to the current day, the abundance of oceanic sharks has declined by 71%. An increase in fishing has gone up by 18-fold. Although this could be completely unrelated, Spielberg has been quoted saying that he also felt somewhat responsible for the suffering of great white sharks. There is no doubt that the day-to-day lives of film audiences aren't impacted by the film industry. With billions of pounds being put into film funding every year, the demand for just a nice story has been far removed, and the welcoming of consumeristic values has found its way into the media. I've explored how film has used women as sex symbols to sell eroticism and erased narratives to keep up appearances of the origin story the industry wishes to tell. With the increase of affordability for film, making the opportunities for new voices to be heard are rising. Films will no longer depict patriarchal white Christian American values that so much of the film from the past possesses, and will start to reflect more of the stories of normal people and the real world, polishing the mirror of film. And for the master's tools will never dismantle the master's house. They may allow us to temporarily beat him at his own game, but they will never enable us to bring about genuine change. And this fact is only threatening to those women who still define the master's house as their only source of support.